All right. Good evening, everybody. I will call the 25th regular Common Council meeting to order. Will the clerk state the quote of the evening?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change.
Thank you. Will the clerk call the roll?
Alderperson Bellinger.
Here.
Alderperson Decker.
Here.
Alderperson Feldy.
Excused.
Alderperson Heidemann.
Here.
Alderperson LaFave.
Here.
Alderperson Mitchell.
Here.
Alderperson Perella.
Here.
Alderperson Peterson.
Here.
Alderperson Ramey.
Here.
Alderperson Rust.
Present.
There are 9 present.
Thank you. If everyone could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Alder Decker, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the minutes from the 24th regular council meeting held on March 17th, 2025.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor of approval of the minutes, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? Minutes are approved. Next, we have appointments. Attorney Majerus.
Thank you. Taylor Zeinert to the position of Director of Planning and Development.
Thank you. That will lay over. City Clerk, anyone for public forum?
No one this evening.
All right, thank you. No announcements from me this evening. Next, we have a hearing on item 7, hearing number 23, 24, 25. Pursuant to notices published by letters sent, this hearing is for the purposes of allowing interested parties to be heard in relative vacating and discontinuing portions of North Commerce Street in the city of Sheboygan. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard on this item? Anyone wishing to be heard? Final call. Anyone wishing to be heard? Seeing none, Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to close the hearing.
Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor of closing the hearing, state aye.
Aye.
Any objections? The hearing is adjourned. Next, items on the consent agenda, items 9 through 21. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive and file all ROs, receive all RCs, and adopt all resolutions and ordinances.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion on consent agenda items? Alder Perella.
I just want to offer my satisfaction with the creation of the street art grant program to support local artists, the creative community, and to increase pedestrian safety. I'm very happy for this idea and to follow up on this.
Thank you, Alder Perella. Alder Heidemann.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Item 21, the chief's report to us, the yearly report was phenomenal. I saw it at Public Works, at Law and Licensing, and I read through it again. But I have one question for the chief. You know, in your analyzation as far as your department, are you adequately staffed? Are you understaffed?
Fire Chief.
So thank you for that question. Currently, we are at our minimum. We are handling the call volume as is, not ideally. However, we are adequate staffed minimally for the calls that we have. If we continue to grow, if we continue to get busier, we will have to have a discussion regarding staffing. But with the additional 3 that we added last year, we are able to get that 4th ambulance in service. So thank you for asking, but we're maintaining right now.
Because I just got that impression from there that said, you know, you're right at the brink of not being fully staffed. And I guess I want to be sure that everybody acknowledges in the city of Sheboygan that, and you do a fine job, and it was a great report. But again, I don't want to have any one of our organizations that are called upon to protect the citizens of Sheboygan to be understaffed. Okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Alder Bellinger.
Thank you. I also have a question for the chief, or I've got a couple questions. So the first one being the staffing of all the stations. You have this nice chart, so thank you for that. But particularly, I'm looking at Station 3. Just a couple outliers, just if you could explain to me, why are there 2 captains and only 1 lieutenant when all the other stations have 1 captain and 2 lieutenants?
Yeah, thank you. Recently we restructured a little bit of what our operations were in the fire service, or at least in the Sheboygan Fire Department. So we added, due to the responsibilities, we added an extra captain. Normally, departments our size and the way we operate would have 5, 1 per station. But because of the responsibilities we have, our EMS, we wanted to make sure that we had enough captains to perform the roles and responsibilities that they would regarding EMS, training, and some of the building at Station 3. So it's our headquarters station, a lot more responsibility, a lot more activity there.
So because you have 2 captains, then that's why you only have 1 lieutenant in that station?
Correct.
Okay.
It's an officer per shift, so
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. And then my second question would be for the 2024 budget. For those of us who aren't firefighters, what is the definition of turnout gear other than gloves and hoods?
So that's the protective gear that we wear when we go into structure fires or IDLH atmospheres, which are dangerous. It's our helmet, our turnout coat, our turnout pants, the boots, gloves, our Nomex hood that protects our face from the heat,
Okay.
and the masks.
So then you're just cycling them out, so 10 a year, is that
Typical
process?
standards in our industry, they last about 10 years, depending on use, wear, sunlight, that kind of stuff. So the recommendation is replace. So we've tried, just because we have a large staff, we try to replace. We at one time worked on getting 2 sets of gear per individual. So because if you go to a fire, you got to decon, wash it. It takes time to dry, but it's just too expensive. So we've tried to really stay on that 10 sets of gear to replace every year.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. All right, seeing no more cues, this will be a roll call vote.
Nine ayes.
That's approved. Item 22 will be referred to the Licensing, Hearing, and Public Safety Committee. Next, item 23, resolution number 1912425 by Elder Decker and Rust, authorizing executing a 1-year lease with David Gartman LLC for agricultural property in the city of Sheboygan. Elder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I ask to suspend the rules.
Any objections? Seeing none, please proceed.
I move to adopt the resolution.
Thank you. And would the city administrator like to provide a reason why we're suspending tonight?
Mr. Gartman passed away, so his estate was a little delayed in bringing that forward. So we're suspending and getting it done in a timely manner so they can get out and farm it as they did in the years past.
Cool. Thank you, City Administrator. Alder Bellinger?
That was going to be my question, why we are suspending, but I appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no more cues, this will be a roll call vote.
Nine ayes.
That's approved. Items 24 through 30 will be referred to their respective committees. Next, item 31, RC number 2622425 by the Public Works Committee, to whom was referred a resolution number 1882425 by Elders Decker and Ramey, authorizing the appropriate city officials to enter into a lease with Bell Bank for the lease of 2025 Vector Sewer Maintenance Vehicle. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and adopt the substitute resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Alder Bellinger?
Thank you. I would just like the public to know that during our Public Works Committee, we did go over this, and we did look at the pros and cons versus purchasing this vehicle versus leasing it, and it's by far more advantageous to lease it. So I just would like people to know that we did look at both options, and it was deemed that it was way better due to the extensive wear and tear and the daily use on this vehicle that we continue with the leasing program that we have.
Thank you. Alder Prella?
Yes, so I was just wondering about the cost of that, and also, so basically I can see that it is the total would be $448,592, but then it is going to be $107,000. So is the maintenance, how much is the maintenance? Because I don't think it has been, I didn't see that incorporated. As we are approving also the maintenance, right? We are approving the lease, which is for 5 years, plus the maintenance, I assume it is also for 5 years.
Well, Joel's up there.
Yeah, I can answer that question. The maintenance agreement is a separate document that will come toward council at a later date. So this is not the maintenance.
I see. So the total is for just for the lease, 5 years lease, it is $448,000, right?
I do believe that is correct, yes.
But then divided by 5, obviously it's not 107. So there is some discrepancy there. Maybe you can look at it. Basically, it is lower. That amount divided by 5, because it is going to be paid yearly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the other thing is, briefly, is so we have always leased before?
Not always. This is our third 5-year term of a lease that we're proposing. Prior to that, we owned several pieces of equipment. I believe it was 3 separate pieces of equipment. This one piece of equipment replaced all 3 of those separate pieces of equipment. Does all those things. So this is our third term with it, and we've really felt that leasing really is advantageous in a lot of different reasons, but mostly because, it's always at a state of readiness. It's, like today, for instance, a lot of flooding. That was our primary vehicle used out, to respond to those kind of situations. And the equipment has become so specialized over the years and so highly electronic. By leasing, we don't necessarily have to train our in-staff mechanics to know all the specifics about all that stuff. And, if it breaks, they're taking care of it under the lease. So
I appreciate that clarification.
Sure.
Thank you. Any follow-ups, Alder Prella or Finance Director?
Do we have a clarification on the price?
Yes, so the purchase price is the $448,592. If you look at Exhibit B in the contract, it shows the principal amount, so the $107,510 is the full amount for the annual lease, including principal and interest. So it's including that interest in the total cost of $537,000. So yes, the total cost is allocated, but that will come as well within each year for budget purposes.
Oh, okay. And we will have separately the maintenance. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and then this is a roll call vote.
Nine ayes.
That's approved. Item 32, RC number 263-2425 by the Public Works Committee, to whom was referred resolution number 189-2425 by Alders Decker and Ramey, authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute the agreement between the City of Sheboygan and Hardesty and Hanover LLC regarding the inspection of the South 8th Street Bridge. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Alder Prella.
I'm curious about how often we are required to do an inspection, or what is the best practice, and when was the last time we inspected?
City Engineer.
We are required to inspect the bridge every 2 years, and we did it 2 years ago in April.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, this is a roll call vote.
Nine ayes.
All right, that's approved. Item 33 will be referred to the Finance Committee. Item 34, RC number 231-2425 by the Public Works Committee, to whom was referred resolution number 169-2425 by Alders Decker and Ramey, vacating and discontinuing portions of North Commerce Street in the city of Sheboygan. Alder Decker.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to receive the RC and adopt the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. All right, seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Nine ayes.
All right, that's approved. Alder Decker, we've exhausted the agenda. What is your pleasure?
I move to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned at 6:15. Good night, everybody.